we're going to get into doing the All-Star team for 2022 now. And, you know, for we haven't really chatted about it beforehand at all, so none of us has any idea how the other is thinking. But we kind of have to agree between us who should be here, who should be there, and maybe the odd time to be a bit of horse trading going on to get someone into another position. But anyway, I've no idea how this is going to go. But
that's the beauty about
it. Yeah. Is Nicky Quaid going in goals? Are we all sort of thinking that straight away?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Quaid it. So cornerback, I'll start off with you, Richie. What are you thinking for cornerback? We probably have some good candidates
Number two
there.
Number two, is it?
Yeah.
Well, for me, we saw the Sunday game team, and I wouldn't agree with it. Like, I think Mikey Butler has to be an All-Star this year after his performance in the Leinster final. I think he held his man scoreless in the Leinster final, All-Ireland semi-final, and the All-Ireland final. Now, I know he's up against Sean Finn. I know how good a player Sean Finn is, but for a guy in his first season to do that, and I suppose in particular to hold Tony Kelly scoreless in an All-Ireland semi-final, you know, I personally, I'd be picking Mikey Butler.
What do you think, Kieran?
Come here now. I suppose I have to be very careful here now. I'm going to keep my PCAP as neutral as I can now, right? And I suppose even the goalkeeper to me was a tough call. And I suppose I would tend to give it to Nicky Quaid because he's probably the one goalkeeper that makes the least unforced errors in the last number of years. Even though he mightn't have pulled off magnificent saves, but he's consistent with the puck out and never gives it to the opposition. So I'd be giving him the back. Listen, I agree with Richie to an extent there now, but I'm going to find it very hard for Finn to be toppled. Now, Mikey Butler had a serious year, genuinely, and I believe that. And I suppose it's a bit unfortunate that he's coming up against the animal he's coming up against in Sean Finn, you know, because Finn has been majestic all the time. And I actually, to be fair, I'm 50-50 with it because I think Butler had an outstanding year, being honest with you.
In general now, I try and put lads in the correct positions, and I don't try and put a centre forward, midfielder, or whatever it might be.
Good.
But I'd say I think in general you have a two-man full back line. So I think you could pick Sean Finn as full back here if you fancied him over Casey or Hugh Lawler or whatever it might be. So we could make a case for having Butler and Finn in there, maybe with Barry Nash. What do you think, Richie?
Yeah, but does Hugh Lawler deserve to miss out? And I know maybe Kieran will go for Mike Casey, but I don't like. I think Hugh Lawler had a better year than Mike Casey personally. But I look, it is a tough one, Shane. And I knew when we were picking the team, it was going to be hard. To be honest with you, that's the one position that I had difficulty picking on the team was number two. The rest, I think, picks itself. So I don't think we can do that. I'm going for Mikey Butler. Kieran is going for Sean Finn. So Shane, you have the deciding vote on who goes number two.
Oh,
Shane, I'll give you my full back line.
Okay.
Barry Nash, nailed. Hugh Lawler, nailed. Mikey Butler and Sean Finn. There's a bit of a fight there.
Yeah, I'm exactly in that boat. I'm in that boat as well. So,
I'm going by consistency here now.
Do you know what? I think we can leave that position open for a little bit. We can come back to that one.
Shane, hang on now. You can't just put it to the two of us and you not put your stake in here either.
Shane, we could have another podcast this day week for us.
Well, if I had my way, I'd go with Butler, Sean Finn, and Barry Nash, and I'd be leaving out both Casey and Lawler, who both had great years. But so none of us are actually.
Say that again. Call it out again. Who'd you go for?
I'd be saying Butler, Finn, and Nash.
Do you know what? Hey, you're a typical journalist picking players in the wrong positions.
But I think Finn was full back at times.
No, stop. You're going back to your word, Shane.
No.
Stop. Shane, what you were doing there now, they did that in the 80s and the 90s, picking at number 5 at 9 and putting 9 at 11, and they're putting 8 back at 6. If we're going to pick this now, we'll pick it fairly accurate and right.
Okay, right. I'm going to call it. So Finn at 2, Lawler at 3, Nash at 4.
Fair enough.
So everyone's kind of got a bit of what they want, but maybe not everything that they want. Is there any honourable mentions for the full back line? I'd have to say Rory Hayes had some good games. Obviously, it went against him a couple of times. I thought Craig Morgan of Tip had a good old year. Mikey Butler, like you're saying.
Conor Cleary had a good year full back for Clare.
He did, to be sure. Owen O'Donnell had some decent games.
Dahi Burke and Jack Grealish did pretty well too.
Yeah, Darren Morrissey the same, maybe Sean O'Donoghue at times. So there's plenty of players out there who performed well. Paul Flanagan, I thought, was excellent as well. Another player worth mentioning there. So we're moving into the half-back line. Do you want to start us out here with the obvious one, Kieran?
No, I suppose.
For more exclusive content, go to patreon.com/OurGame.